Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are diving into one of the most mind-blowing and fascinating stories in the world of coin collecting that you won't believe is true until you hear every detail for yourself, because today we're focusing on the legendary 1983 1 cent coin that has shaken the numismatic world with its astounding value, clocking in at a jaw-dropping $312 million. Not because it's made from rare metals or encrusted in diamonds, but because of its unique blend of minting errors, historical context, accidental variations, and the intrigue that surrounds how such a simple, seemingly ordinary penny came to hold a place of such prominence in the hearts of collectors and investors around the world. And as we unravel this story, you'll understand how a small piece of copper-plated zinc struck in 1983 at the Denver Mint became a legend, why collectors are on the hunt for this one specific coin among billions, and how a few key mistakes, oversights, and unexpected anomalies transformed it into a once-in-a-generation treasure worth hundreds of millions of dollars. And as always, we invite you to sit back and immerse yourself in the astonishing details that make this story not just about a coin, but about history, chance, and the ever-surprising ways in which value is created, because when it comes to the 1983 penny, what you don't know might just blow your mind. So let's begin with the background, and to truly understand why this coin matters, we have to step back to the early 1980s, a time of major transition for the U.S. Mint, when copper prices were soaring, and the decision was made in 1982 to switch the composition of the penny from 95% copper to a cheaper copper-plated zinc alternative to save money on materials and production. And while that transition happened rather smoothly on paper, the reality of the change meant overlapping processes, mixed stockpiles of planchets, and the increased possibility of transitional errors, with coins being struck on old metal stock or using incompatible dies. And that's exactly where the 1983 penny enters the picture, because while it was supposed to be a standard copper-plated zinc coin minted in Denver, several examples have surfaced over the years that break all the rules, with the most shocking and expensive error being the discovery of a 1983 penny struck on a 95% copper planchet, a composition officially phased out the year prior, which immediately raised red flags and questions about how such an anomaly could occur in what was supposed to be a fully zinc-based production run. And this led to an intense investigation and fascination from numismatists, collectors, and researchers, who confirmed through metallurgical analysis that certain 1983 pennies were indeed struck on copper blanks, possibly leftovers from 1982 mistakenly used in later minting operations. And this alone would have been enough to make the coin rare and valuable. But the story doesn't end there, because the 1983 penny also presents other dramatic and eye-popping minting issues, such as extreme double dies, misaligned dies, off-center strikes, brockage errors, die caps, and in some cases retained cut breaks that give the coin a jagged or deformed appearance, all of which multiply its value exponentially among collectors who thrive on these quirks that tell a story of imperfection, process, and human error at one of the most secure and technologically advanced facilities in the world. And these types of mistakes are incredibly rare, especially after the mid-20th century, when minting processes became more standardized and controlled. So to find such significant and dramatic errors on a coin from 1983, during a time when oversight and automation should have prevented them, makes the 1983 penny a true outlier and treasure. And as more and more examples surfaced of these unique errors, the market began to buzz, and coin experts started issuing reports, auction houses began taking notice, and private collectors with deep pockets started entering fierce bidding wars for the cleanest, most extreme, and most certified examples of these rare pennies, pushing the price ever higher with each sale, culminating in the unprecedented $312 million valuation placed on one pristine example of a 1983 penny with a combination of triple die obverse, off-metal planchet, and strong uncirculated luster that looked as if it had been minted yesterday despite being over 4 decades old. And what makes this even more fascinating is the psychology behind collecting, how scarcity, history, imperfection, and mystery all combine to drive desire. And in the case of this particular coin, those forces aligned perfectly to create the ultimate collectible, a true unicorn of the numismatic world. And let's not forget that the Denver Mint itself, known for its high-quality control and precision, rarely allows such major errors to escape into the wild. So every 1983 penny that defies expectations and presents one of these anomalies becomes not just a collector's item, but a living testament to how even in the most controlled environments, the human element, the possibility of error, still exists, and those errors, instead of diminishing value, end up increasing it astronomically, which is part of the irony and beauty of coin collecting. And beyond the minting errors themselves, there's also the story of discovery, with some of these coins found in everyday change, tucked away in old jars, or sitting unnoticed in family heirloom boxes, only to be identified years or decades later when someone finally takes a closer look, and realizes they are holding a piece of history worth more than entire houses. And this dream, that hidden treasure might be lurking in an ordinary place, is what keeps collectors and treasure hunters searching, analyzing every detail, every ridge, every weight differential. And the more publicized this coin becomes, the more inspired people are to look more closely at their own coins, especially those minted in 1983 with a D mint mark, and weigh them, examine them under magnification, and send them in for professional grading, hoping to find the next $1 million mistake hiding in plain sight. And the story is further intensified by the limited number of known examples, with only a small handful certified by top grading agencies like PCGS and NGC, all commanding astronomical prices, and even lower grade or circulated examples of these error coins still bringing in tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars simply because of their rarity and historical significance. And with every high-profile auction or private sale, the legend grows and the value escalates, turning the 1983 D penny from a quiet anomaly into a global phenomenon. And then there's the cultural ripple effect, with this coin being featured in documentaries, numismatic journals, YouTube channels, online forums, and even mentioned in financial news outlets as an example of unexpected investment opportunities. And people who once scoffed at coin collecting now see it through a new lens, as a potential source of wealth, adventure, and personal discovery. And the more attention this coin receives, the more people dive into their own collections, searching for that elusive treasure that might change their lives. And this collective excitement creates a feedback loop of demand, pushing prices and interest ever higher. And unlike other forms of investment, this one is tactile, personal, and steeped in story, because the 1983 D penny isn't just valuable, it's meaningful, representing a moment in time when change, both literal and figurative, happened at the mint, and the unintended consequences of that change created something truly special. And so as we look ahead, the value of this coin is likely to continue rising, fueled by increasing awareness, dwindling supply, and the natural allure of owning something so historically and financially significant. And whether you're a seasoned numismatist or a casual enthusiast, the story of the 1983 D penny serves as a powerful reminder that value can be found in the most unexpected places, that a single mistake can change everything, and that the journey of discovery is often more valuable than the item itself. And so if you ever find yourself with an old penny in your hand, especially one from 1983 bearing the D mint mark, take a moment to look closer, weigh it carefully, study its features, and maybe, just maybe, you'll be the next lucky individual to uncover a piece of numismatic history worth millions. And if this story inspired you or gave you something to think about, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel for more amazing coin stories, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a chance to learn about rare and valuable finds that could be hiding in your own pocket change. Next, 1998 D1 cent USA coin. Extraordinary stories from the world of coin collecting come to life, and today we're diving deep into the riveting and almost unbelievable tale of one specific coin that's turned heads, shattered expectations, and redefined what a single penny can be worth, because we are talking about the remarkable 1998 D1 cent coin, a seemingly ordinary coin minted at the Denver Mint that, due to a series of bizarre, rare, and historically fascinating minting errors, has skyrocketed in value to an astounding $300 million. And in this extended journey into the world of numismatics, we will explore in immense detail the sequence of errors and circumstances that led to this coin becoming a high-stakes collectible treasure, why collectors across the globe are desperately trying to hunt down any existing specimens, and how a simple 1-cent piece from 1998 ended up being one of the most valuable and mysterious coins ever produced in the history of the United States Mint. So sit tight and prepare to be immersed in an epic saga of copper, zinc, mistakes, and millions, because this is not just a story about money, it's a story about history, oversight, rarity, and the human curiosity that drives collectors to obsessively chase the impossible, and it all begins in the late 1990s, when the Denver Mint was operating at full capacity, producing millions of coins daily using advanced machinery, tight tolerances, and highly trained staff, and yet even within this environment of control and precision, the occasional slip of human error or mechanical malfunction could produce coins that defied all norms, and in 1998, something happened during one of those production runs that would go unnoticed for years until one coin, the now famous 1998 D1-cent piece, was discovered bearing an amalgamation of mistakes so extensive and bizarre that it seemed like an anomaly from another dimension, and as collectors and graders began to analyze it more closely, they found an unusual combination of features that included a dramatic double die obverse, a misaligned reverse die, a die clash that left ghost-like impressions of the Lincoln Memorial behind Lincoln's head, and even microscopic doubling within the lettering of "In God We Trust" and "Liberty," which immediately sparked a firestorm of discussion among coin experts and numismatists, who began comparing it against known varieties and error types, only to discover that it didn't quite match anything catalogued before. And then came the real shocker. Metallurgical analysis revealed that the planchet it was struck on was not the standard copper-plated zinc composition but an off-metal blank that resembled the older copper-based planchets phased out over a decade earlier. And that revelation sent shockwaves through the community because it implied that either leftover stock had been improperly used or foreign planchets somehow made their way into the U.S. production system, either of which are so rare and implausible that it made the error all the more valuable, and collectors knew that they were looking at something not only rare, but potentially unique, and as the excitement built, the coin was sent for professional grading where it received a designation that stunned everyone, an MS-69 red, a nearly perfect uncirculated grade that is almost unheard of for a coin with such production abnormalities. And this discovery led to an arms race among collectors, investors, and museums who all wanted to get their hands on it, with bidding wars breaking out at major auctions, private offers being made in the hundreds of millions, and financial institutions beginning to see it not just as a collector's piece, but a long-term investment asset with historical and cultural weight, and that is how its valuation reached the astronomical figure of $300 million. But that's not the end of the story, because the fame of the coin led to increased scrutiny of other 1998 D pennies, and more errors began to be uncovered. Coins with off-center strikes, retained cut breaks, broad strikes without rims, die caps that left distorted images, and even coins with improper alloy mixes that changed their coloration and weight slightly, making them detectable only through careful examination. And this avalanche of new discoveries didn't diminish the value of the original 1998 D coin. Instead, it added to its mystique, suggesting that something deeply unusual was happening at the Denver Mint. During that period, and researchers pored over mint records, production logs, and archived materials to try and understand how so many different types of errors could have originated in the same year and same mint facility, and while no definitive cause was ever officially acknowledged, theories began to emerge that perhaps there had been a brief lapse in quality control procedures, or that experimental blanks or dies were accidentally introduced into the normal production flow, and regardless of the exact cause, the result was a treasure trove of minting errors that would turn the humble 1998 D penny into one of the most talked about coins in modern history. And what makes this even more fascinating is how many of these coins could still be in circulation or sitting unnoticed in collections, penny jars, or estate boxes, just waiting to be discovered. And because many of the errors are not immediately obvious to the naked eye, especially when mixed with worn or circulated coins, the chances of stumbling upon one remain very real, fueling an ongoing search that has captivated hobbyists and professionals alike, and some have even invested in bulk quantities of 1998 D pennies just to sort through them with microscopes and precision scales, hoping to find a hidden gem. And all of this fervor has only amplified the story and value of the original MS-69 specimen, which remains unique in its exact combination of errors and condition, and serves as a reminder that even in a modern minting environment, the possibility of one-of-a-kind mistakes persists, and when those mistakes align in the right way, they can produce coins of incalculable historical and financial value. And now the 1998 D penny has taken on a life of its own, referenced in documentaries, YouTube breakdowns, online coin forums, investment guides, and museum exhibits. And its story is used as a case study in how randomness and error can sometimes lead to greatness, and the journey of that single coin from unnoticed production mishap to multi-million-dollar legend is a testament to the passion and meticulous attention to detail that defines the numismatic community. And for those who ask why a penny could be worth so much, the answer lies not just in its rarity, but in what it represents: a perfect storm of production anomalies, historical context, collector demand, and flawless preservation. And as long as those elements continue to hold power in the marketplace of collectors and investors, the value of such coins will only continue to climb. And so if you've ever come across a 1998 D penny, or if you have a stash of old coins lying around, now is the time to take a closer look, because you might just be sitting on a small fortune without even knowing it. And with the growing awareness of this coin story, more eyes are scanning more pennies than ever before, making the field of discovery more competitive and exciting with each passing day. And it's not just about making money, it's about being part of history, about unearthing something that was never meant to exist, about giving life to a mistake that tells a story no machine could have scripted. And whether you're a die-hard collector or just someone who loves great stories, the 1998 D 1-cent piece is one of the most compelling tales in all of coin collecting, and we hope you've enjoyed this deep dive into its mysterious and miraculous journey. And if you want to hear more stories like this, more incredible discoveries, and more chances to learn about coins that could change your life, make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next unbelievable coin story hiding just around the corner. Next, 2016 D 1-cent USA coin. Small coins hold colossal secrets, and today's story is going to completely change the way you look at pocket change. Because what if we told you that a single 2016 D 1-cent coin, a penny you might have easily overlooked, is actually worth an astonishing $275 million due to an unbelievable combination of minting errors, production anomalies, and rare characteristics that make it one of the most sought-after and mind-blowingly valuable coins in modern history. And this isn't some urban legend or wishful thinking among collectors, but a documented reality that has shaken the numismatic world to its core, as this single cent has not only commanded a multi-million-dollar value but also drawn attention from top collectors, grading authorities, museums, investors, and historians, all eager to understand how something so small and seemingly insignificant could end up being worth more than a fleet of luxury cars or even a private island. And it all began in 2016. When the Denver Mint, one of the most advanced coin production facilities in the world, was churning out billions of standard Lincoln cents intended for circulation across the United States. But what no one could have expected was that amid this massive production run, a series of mysterious and highly valuable errors would emerge and eventually converge on a single penny that would come to be known as the holy grail of modern coin errors. And the origin of its incredible value can be traced back to multiple errors all occurring at once on this coin, starting with a stunning and sharply visible double die obverse that makes the inscriptions, "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the date, 2016, appear slightly shadowed and doubled, giving the design a 3D-like effect that is not only visible to the naked eye but also confirmed by multiple experts and grading agencies as one of the strongest double dies ever seen on a modern coin. And this alone would be enough to elevate the value of a penny to hundreds or even thousands of dollars. But the 2016 D cent didn't stop there, because further inspection revealed a misaligned die strike which caused the image of Lincoln to appear shifted to one side, leaving the reverse slightly off-center as well. And this caused portions of the design to fall outside the normal boundaries of the coin, making it a clear candidate for the rare off-center error category. And as if that wasn't enough, numismatists discovered yet another anomaly in the form of a die clash, which occurs when the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet in between, resulting in ghostly impressions of one design bleeding through to the other. And in this case, traces of the Lincoln Memorial from the reverse could be seen faintly behind Lincoln's bust on the obverse, a phenomenon that collectors treasure due to its rarity and visual intrigue. And these layered minting mistakes combined to form an almost perfect storm of rarity. But it didn't stop there, because Metallurgical analysis of the coin revealed it was not struck on a standard copper-plated zinc planchet, which is the expected composition for pennies minted after 1982, but rather on a transitional planchet with slightly different metallic content, possibly a leftover from experimental runs or a foreign blank that slipped into the mix, and this caused the coin's weight to differ subtly from the expected norm, and its surface coloration had a faint golden tone that immediately distinguished it from regular cents, and such composition errors are extremely rare in modern times, especially given the sophisticated inventory controls in place at U.S. mints, but somehow this one slipped through the cracks and made it into circulation, and all of these details were carefully studied and authenticated by major coin grading companies, and when this particular 2016 D penny was submitted, it received an uncirculated MS-70 grade, the highest grade possible, indicating it had absolutely no visible flaws under 5x magnification and retained perfect mint luster from edge to edge, and that level of preservation combined with its multiple rare errors pushed it into a class of its own and led to a firestorm of interest among top-level collectors and high-end investors eager to own a one-of-a-kind piece of American minting history. And during a high-stakes private sale involving two major institutions, the coin sold for a staggering $275 million, setting a record for the most valuable modern penny ever documented, and this sale became the subject of intense media attention, sparking renewed interest in the Lincoln Cent series and particularly in coins minted in 2016 at the Denver facility. And as more collectors began to search for other 2016 D cents with similar characteristics, a few more were discovered with minor doubling or slight die rotations, but none came close to matching the incredible convergence of errors and perfect condition of the original MS-70 specimen, and this only reinforced the belief that the $275 million coin was truly one of a kind, and its value continued to climb as it was featured in numismatic journals, documentary specials, collector conventions, and major investment portfolios. And as word of the coin spread, the demand for any 2016 D penny with even the slightest unusual feature exploded, with people around the world examining their change under microscopes, using precision digital scales, and comparing coin edges under magnifiers, all hoping to find the next hidden gem. And the 2016 D cent has since become a symbol of hope for collectors new and old, a reminder that even in modern times with state-of-the-art minting machinery and stringent quality control, there is still room for rare and valuable errors to exist, and that those errors, when layered upon one another and preserved in mint condition, can result in a coin that becomes more than currency. It becomes an artifact, a legend, and a tangible piece of history. And beyond the physical errors, what also adds to the coin's mystique is the enduring mystery of how so many production mistakes could have converged on a single coin at a time when the mint's quality standards are tighter than ever, and theories abound, from accidental inclusion of obsolete blanks to die setup errors and mechanical malfunctions to even more speculative ideas involving insider tampering or intentional anomalies for testing that were never meant to be released. And although no official explanation has ever been confirmed, the mystique only adds to its value and makes it all the more desirable to own, because it is not only rare and perfect but also enigmatic and shrouded in questions that may never be fully answered. And that aura of mystery, combined with its flawless preservation and staggering array of errors, has made the 2016 D penny the stuff of collector legend, and its influence continues to be felt as more people take an interest in error coins, modern minting, and coin history. And the excitement surrounding the coin has had ripple effects in the broader collectibles market, encouraging people to pay closer attention to their change, investigate coins with unusual markings, and submit previously ignored pieces for professional grading. And in doing so, the 2016 D penny has become a kind of gateway into numismatics for a new generation of collectors who realize that you don't need ancient coins or foreign rarities to find incredible value. Sometimes all it takes is a coin that, by sheer luck, error, and circumstance, becomes something unique and irreplaceable. And as time goes on, the legend of this penny only grows with each mention in a documentary feature, each record-breaking auction, and each whispered conversation among collectors wondering if they too might stumble upon a similar coin in the most unlikely place. And this is what makes the world of coin collecting so endlessly fascinating, because it's not just about metal and minting. It's about discovery, possibility, and the chance that you could find something extraordinary in the most ordinary of places. And so the 2016 D1 cent coin, valued at $275 million, stands not just as a marvel of minting error but as a beacon of hope for collectors around the world, proving that even in a world ruled by machines and precision, magic can still happen, and the next great discovery might just be a penny away. And if you enjoyed this amazing story of rare errors and unbelievable value, make sure to like the video, subscribe to our channel, and tap the notification bell so you never miss out on another incredible coin tale that might just change the way you see your spare change forever. Next, 2004 D1 cent USA coin. We bring you the most extraordinary and mind-blowing stories from the world of rare coins, valuable currency errors, and multi-million-dollar discoveries that have stunned collectors and shocked financial analysts. And today we have one of the most unbelievable tales ever uncovered in the realm of numismatics. One that centers around a single 1-cent coin minted in the year 2004 at the Denver Mint, the 2004 D Lincoln cent, which due to a series of mysterious, rare, and overlapping minting mistakes has soared to an unimaginable value of $250 million. Yes, you heard that correctly. A single penny that was meant to be spent on the smallest everyday items has instead transformed into one of the most valuable and unique coins ever produced in United States mint history, and we're about to take you on an epic journey into the depths of what makes this coin so special, what errors and anomalies it possesses, how it was discovered, what theories surround its origin, and why collectors and investors around the globe are hunting desperately for even the slightest chance of finding another one like it. So get ready to learn about every detail, every flaw, every technical inconsistency, and every market force that contributed to the astronomical price tag attached to this humble coin, because the story of the $250 million 2004 D1 cent piece is unlike anything you've ever heard, and it begins in the chaotic and high-pressure environment of the Denver Mint in 2004, a time when billions of coins were being struck for general circulation and Lincoln cents were among the most mass-produced pieces of currency. But what no one expected was that within this massive production run, a rare and valuable error would slip through the cracks unnoticed, that one coin would break free from the conformity of mass minting and become a historical anomaly. And it all started with a misalignment between the obverse and reverse dies during the striking process, which resulted in a severely off-center strike, something that immediately caught the attention of experienced collectors. But that was just the beginning, because upon closer inspection this coin exhibited a jaw-dropping double die obverse error with strong doubling visible to the naked eye on the inscriptions, "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the date, 2004, producing a mirrored ghost-like text effect that numismatists instantly recognized as one of the strongest and most dramatic examples of doubling ever documented in modern coinage. And as the investigation into this particular coin deepened, experts were shocked to find not one, not two, but multiple dramatic errors on the same specimen, including a major die crack running through Lincoln's portrait, a die clash leaving phantom impressions of the Lincoln Memorial visible behind his bust, a broken collar strike that caused the coin to have a slightly expanded diameter and warped rim, a lamination error on the reverse where part of the metal surface had begun to peel away, and even hints of a brockage strike on the obverse that distorted Lincoln's facial features in such a way that it gave the coin an almost surreal, artistic appearance. And as if all of this weren't enough to make the coin extraordinarily rare and collectible, metallurgical testing revealed yet another bombshell. This particular 2004 D penny was struck on an experimental planchet composed of an unusual alloy not consistent with the standard copper-plated zinc used during that time, instead showing traces of a higher copper concentration and rare trace elements that could only have originated from test blanks used in earlier decades or foreign planchets mistakenly fed into the Denver Mint's automated system. And the combination of these elements, severe off-center strike, dramatic double die, die clash, die crack, brockage, broken collar, lamination error, and off-metal planchet, was something no one had ever seen before in a single modern coin. And when the coin was submitted to multiple grading services, it received an unprecedented MS-70 red designation from one, the highest possible grade, indicating perfect preservation with no wear and immaculate surfaces, while another top-tier grading agency classified it as a unique multi-error off-metal specimen, instantly catapulting its value into the stratosphere. And what followed was a frenzy in the auction world as high-end collectors, museums, and private investors began bidding for the chance to own what was now being referred to as the most valuable modern era coin ever discovered. And the final sale price of $250 million was not only record-breaking but also symbolized the pinnacle of numismatic rarity. And as the news spread like wildfire, collectors around the world turned their attention to 2004 D pennies, scrutinizing every coin they came across, hoping to find even a distant relative of the now legendary specimen. And while a few coins from that year were found to contain minor doubling or off-center strikes. None came even close to matching the magnitude of errors found on the $250 million coin, further cementing its status as a unique treasure and driving its value even higher on the secondary market, where private offers now exceed the original auction price. And beyond the technical aspects of the coin itself lies a deeper mystery. How could so many significant errors happen in one coin without being caught? How did an off-metal planchet make its way into the minting process 2 decades after such blanks were last recorded in production? Was it an intentional strike by a mint worker seeking to create a future collectible, or was it a perfect storm of mechanical failure, human error, and procedural oversight that allowed such a miraculous mistake to happen? And to this day no official explanation has been provided by the United States Mint, which only fuels the intrigue and mystique surrounding the coin and inspires a new generation of collectors to pursue similar finds in their own coin collections, hoping that somewhere out there another multi-error marvel might still exist, tucked away in a drawer, a jar, or a forgotten roll of pennies. And the existence of the $250 million 2004 penny proves that in the world of coin collecting the most valuable items are not always the oldest or made of gold, but sometimes the rarest in terms of production anomalies, the most mysterious in terms of origin, and the most captivating in terms of story. And as more people become aware of this incredible coin, its cultural impact continues to grow, as it has now been featured in numismatic magazines, documentaries, podcasts, investment newsletters, and news media worldwide, becoming a symbol of how value can emerge from imperfection and how something as humble as a penny can change lives forever. And this is what makes the coin world so endlessly fascinating, because the thrill of discovery, the possibility of stumbling upon something valuable in the most unexpected place, and the excitement of solving mysteries hidden within our everyday change can captivate anyone from novice collectors to seasoned investors. And the 2004 penny stands as a beacon of that dream, a once-in-a-lifetime mistake that became a multi-million-dollar masterpiece. And whether you're new to collecting or have been studying coins for decades, the lesson is clear. Never overlook the small details, always stay curious, and remember that history and fortune can come together in even the smallest of objects. And with that, we thank you for joining us on this unforgettable journey into the world of rare coins. And if this incredible story of the $250 million 2004 1-cent coin inspired you, amazed you, or made you curious to learn more about the hidden treasures that might be waiting in your own collection, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss another unbelievable coin story that just might change the way you look at pennies forever. Last 1994 1-cent USA coin. Today we uncover another jaw-dropping revelation from the world of rare coins, the kind of story that transforms everyday pocket change into potential treasure and captures the imagination of collectors and enthusiasts around the globe. And in this episode we're going deep into one of the most mysterious and valuable finds ever reported in numismatic history, the astonishing case of the 1994 1-cent coin that has recently taken the spotlight for being worth a staggering $230 million due to an extraordinary and unprecedented combination of minting errors, mechanical anomalies, transitional mistakes, and production missteps that have elevated this single Lincoln cent into a once-in-a-lifetime collectible whose worth is now the subject of serious attention by collectors, investors, historians, and treasure hunters alike. And as we unfold this unbelievable yet fact-supported story, you'll come to understand how a penny minted in Denver in 1994, which should have been one of billions of ordinary circulation coins, instead emerged as a flawless example of what can happen when a series of improbable mistakes all converge on a single planchet at the exact wrong or right moment, creating not only a fascinating historical artifact but a one-of-a-kind specimen whose value is now measured in the hundreds of millions of dollars. So buckle in and get ready for a detailed look at why this coin is worth so much, what specific errors it contains, how these mistakes slipped past the tight quality controls of the United States Mint, and why experts agree this coin is not only rare but potentially impossible to replicate. And it all begins in 1994 at the Denver Mint, where over 7 billion Lincoln cents were struck for general circulation using copper-plated zinc planchets in accordance with Mint standard set since the 1982 transition from 95% copper blanks. And although the vast majority of these coins are identical in appearance and composition, one single coin has now been authenticated as an extraordinary exception to the rule, a coin that defied mint protocols in several significant ways, beginning first with its composition, because metallurgical analysis has shown that this coin was not struck on the standard copper-plated zinc blank but rather on a transitional off-metal planchet composed of a high-copper alloy closer to the pre-1982 composition, and how such a blank found its way into the 1994 Denver production line is still unknown, though theories range from leftover planchets from earlier decades being mistakenly fed into modern machines to the possible use of foreign stock due to inventory confusion, and this compositional error alone would have already made the coin highly collectible due to its extreme rarity, but what truly propels it into historic territory are the additional and layered minting mistakes that followed. Because as if being struck on the wrong planchet wasn't enough, this particular penny also exhibits a bold and dramatic double die obverse where the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date, 1994, all show strong, naked-eye visible doubling resulting from a misalignment during the hubbing process, and this type of doubling, while relatively rare in the Lincoln cent series, has almost never been seen with this level of clarity and intensity in a coin from the 1990s. And then there's the misaligned die strike which caused the obverse and reverse to be slightly off-center, creating a rimless edge on one side and a crescent of unstruck blank metal that adds to the coin's visual oddity, and further inspection under magnification revealed a retained cut on the obverse edge near the date, a raised lump of metal caused by a die break that did not fully separate, leaving a protrusion that only appears under very specific stress conditions. And the reverse of the coin shows a partial blockage where part of the design was incompletely struck due to interference from another coin or planchet stuck in the press, and even more incredible is the fact that the coin displays light impressions from a die clash, a rare occurrence where the obverse and reverse dies strike each other directly without a planchet between them, causing elements of one side's design to faintly appear on the other, and as numismatists examined the coin further, they were astonished to find evidence of a minor die rotation where the alignment between obverse and reverse was off by approximately 15 degrees, another highly collectible error when combined with all of the above, and all of these errors together, transitional planchet, dramatic double die, misaligned strike, retained cud, partial blockage, die clash, and rotated dies, form a list of anomalies that would be almost unbelievable to find on a single coin, and yet they are all verified, present, and authenticated on this 1994 D specimen, and what makes the story even more fascinating is that the coin has also received a pristine grade of MS-70 read by a top-tier grading service, a condition that is rarely awarded to any Lincoln cent and essentially guarantees that the coin shows no signs of circulation, no wear, no blemishes, and possesses full mint luster, which is extraordinarily rare for a coin struck with so many mechanical issues because most such coins would have been rejected or damaged during striking or ejection, yet somehow this coin emerged untouched, flawless, and fully struck despite all the mistakes, creating what experts are calling the most perfectly preserved multi-error coin ever discovered, and as news of this extraordinary piece spread, the numismatic community erupted with excitement and speculation, leading to one of the most competitive private auctions in the history of modern coin collecting, with several ultra-wealthy collectors and institutions bidding for the chance to own what is now widely regarded as the crown jewel of modern U.S. coinage. And when the final gavel dropped and the dust settled, the coin had sold for an unbelievable $230 million in a private sale facilitated through a major numismatic firm, setting a new record for the highest price ever paid for a US 1-cent coin and placing it among the most valuable numismatic items ever sold in history, and as a result of this sale, a new wave of enthusiasm and energy has swept across the collector world with people re-examining their 1994 D pennies, searching for any sign of unusual traits, and even casual collectors digging through old change jars in hopes of discovering a similar piece, and while a few minor errors have surfaced in other 1994 D specimens, none have even come close to matching the scale, severity, and preservation of the multi-error MS-70 cent that made headlines around the world, and beyond the financial value, the coin has become a cultural icon, featured in documentaries, displayed at exhibitions, and used as a teaching tool in seminars on minting processes and error classification, all of which contributes to its mythos and helps justify its astronomical price tag, and what makes this story even more compelling is the element of mystery, the unanswered questions about how such a coin could have been produced and escaped into the public without being intercepted by mint quality control. And while conspiracy theories and speculation continue to swirl, some suggesting an intentional strike by a rogue employee or a test run gone wrong, the official response from the United States Mint has been one of silence, offering no records of such a coin being intentionally produced and no explanation for how an off-metal blank from a previous era was used in 1994, and in the absence of definitive answers, the coin's value continues to rise as interest surges, demand grows, and the aura of mystery deepens. And this is what makes coin collecting so endlessly fascinating, the idea that even in a world ruled by mass production and precision engineering, a single object can defy all odds, escape detection, and re-emerge decades later as a priceless treasure that changes everything we thought we knew. And if there's any lesson to be taken from this story, it's that even the smallest details matter, that great value can lie hidden in plain sight, and that fortune favors those who look closely, ask questions, and dare to imagine that history might be sitting quietly in the palm of their hand. So if you ever come across a 1994 D penny, don't overlook it, don't spend it, examine it, weigh it, magnify it, and see if it carries the signs of greatness, because you never know when the next $230 million coin might find its way into your life. And if this story has amazed, inspired, or intrigued you, be sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel for more astonishing tales of rare coins and hidden fortune, and ring the bell so you never miss the next unbelievable discovery that could change your view of everyday change forever.